Tonight you will do something genuinely insane, and you will not think about it for even a second. You will lie down, close your eyes, and switch off. For hours you will lie there completely defenseless, blind, deaf to most things, unable to move or react, your conscious mind simply gone. Any animal could walk in. You will do this on purpose, in the dark, and you will trust the world so completely that the danger never even crosses your mind. A locked door, 4 walls, a quiet street. Your safety is so total that you have forgotten sleep was ever risky at all. Now strip that safety away. No door, no walls, no quiet, just the open dark. You are a human being far back in time, and you need to do the same impossible thing. Shut down your brain for hours in a world that is actively trying to eat you. Because here is the cruel design problem at the heart of being an animal. Sleep is not optional. A brain that does not sleep begins to fail within days. It cannot think, cannot heal, cannot hold itself together. Your ancestors could no more skip sleep than skip breathing. And yet sleep is the single most vulnerable thing a creature can do. Hours of total helplessness every night for a lifetime in a landscape full of things with better night vision and sharper teeth than you. So the question is brutal and real. How did a slow, soft, night-blind animal survive lying unconscious in the open, night after night, for hundreds of thousands of years, without being quietly killed in its sleep? The first answer is the one we never think of, because we sleep so safely now that we have forgotten it was ever a strategy at all. They almost never slept alone. The lone sleeper in the open was a dead sleeper. Survival meant sleeping in a group, bodies close together, and that simple fact unlocks the whole solution, because a group can do something a single human never can. A group can sleep without ever fully going offline. Not everyone has to be unconscious at the same time. And this is where the science turns genuinely surprising. Researchers studied a modern hunter-gatherer group, tracking their sleep across the night, expecting to find the same thing every night, a window where the whole camp was asleep together, totally exposed. They almost never found it. Across hundreds of hours of observation, there was virtually no moment when every single person was asleep at once. Someone was always awake. Not on a rota anyone had arranged, not a guard anyone assigned. It simply happened, naturally, that at any given point in the night, at least one person was stirring, sitting up, tending the fire, awake. The group, without planning it, was always watching itself. And the reason that worked comes down to a beautiful accident of how human bodies are built. The accident is this: humans do not all run on the same clock. Some people are wired to fall asleep early and wake before dawn. Others cannot get going until late and would happily sleep into the morning. We treat these as quirks today: the early bird, the night owl, labels we stick on personality. But when you put a spread of those body clocks into one sleeping group, something remarkable falls out for free. The early sleepers cover the first half of the night. The night owls are still awake to cover its beginning, and the early risers come online to cover its end. Layer enough different internal clocks together, and you get near continuous coverage of the coast, with no one assigned to anything. The researchers gave this idea a name: the sentinel hypothesis. The variation in human sleep timing may not be a flaw at all. It may be an ancient survival system, a way for a group to always keep an eye open without anyone having to lose a full night of rest. Think about what that means. The light sleeper in your family, the one who wakes at every small sound and complains about it. That sensitivity is not a defect. It is a role our species has carried for hundreds of thousands of years. In an ancient camp, that person was a guardian, surfacing at the snap of a twig while everyone else stayed safely under. We have whole categories of sleeper because, deep in our past, a group needed all of them. And there was a second layer to how they did it. Not just who was awake, but how they slept at all. We carry a strong belief today that proper sleep means one long, unbroken block, 8 hours straight, and that waking in the night is a problem. But there is good evidence that for much of human history, sleep was not built that way. People slept in segments: a stretch of sleep, then a period of waking in the deep of the night, then a second stretch before dawn. That middle waking was normal, even expected. A quiet hour for tending the fire, talking softly, keeping watch before sinking back down. A night broken into pieces is a night with built-in moments of alertness woven all the way through it. The very shape of ancient sleep may have kept a flicker of wakefulness alive across the whole dark. Now the myth worth killing. We assume our ancestors must have slept badly, restless, anxious, terrified, snatching poor scraps of rest in a hostile world. But the picture the evidence paints is almost the reverse. Sleeping in a warm group with the fire lit and the certainty that someone was always awake, an ancient human may have slept with a security we rarely match. They were not lying there alone and afraid. They were held inside a system, biological and social, that watched over them while they were helpless. They could let go completely precisely because they never had to watch alone. And that points to the deepest thing of all. It is this: sleep for a human has always been an act of trust. To close your eyes in the open dark and let your conscious mind dissolve is to place your survival entirely in the hands of the people around you. You are betting your life, every single night, that someone else will be awake enough to notice the danger you can no longer see. And our ancestors made that bet by the only means available, by binding themselves into a group. Close enough, loyal enough, reliable enough that the bet was safe. The sentinel who woke at the snapping twig was not protecting a stranger. He was protecting the people he would die for, who would do the same for him on another night. Sleep itself was woven into the bond that held the group together. You could only rest because you belonged. So picture the real shape of an ancient night. Not a row of frightened animals snatching broken sleep in terror of the dark. A group lying close in the warmth, the fire low, bodies overlapping for heat, and across the whole span of the night a quiet, shifting, unplanned relay of wakefulness moving from the night owls at dusk, through the restless light sleeper at midnight to the early risers before dawn. No one assigned, no one left to watch alone. A species that had turned its own helplessness into a shared and survivable thing, simply by refusing to face the dark as individuals. That is how a soft, slow, night-blind animal survived the most dangerous thing it did every day of its life. Not by sleeping less, not by staying alert and exhausted, but by spreading the watching across a whole group of differently tuned bodies, so that the burden of staying awake never fell on any one of them for long, and the gift of true, deep, defenseless sleep could be given to everyone in turn. So the next time you lie down behind a locked door and switch yourself off without a flicker of fear, notice the ancient bargain you are no longer aware you are making. You will not need a night owl at the edge of the firelight, or a light sleeper to wake at the breaking twig, or a group of bodies close around you trading the watch through the dark. The walls keep watch now. The locked door is the sentinel. That fearless, solitary sleep is the inheritance, built on countless generations who could never sleep safely alone, and so learned to sleep safely together, weaving their different clocks into a single unbroken watch over the helpless. Somewhere very far back, a human lay down in the open dark and closed their eyes, completely defenseless, and slept deeply anyway, because they knew, without needing to think about it, that somewhere in the night, someone they trusted was still awake. And that quiet trust, passed down through every generation since, is the reason you can still close your eyes tonight.